Good morning, everyone. My name is Max Claps, and it's great to be here to speak to you about government and the next normal of public services. It's always a pleasure to interact with the Portuguese audience and the Portuguese public sector. I've done that for the past 10, 15 years, and I look forward to the opportunity of meeting you in person very soon. So we live in interesting times, and we all know that the economy is becoming digital. So it's not just the public sector, it's the entire economy that is being impacted by digital. We made a prediction a couple of years ago that said that over 60% of global GDP will be digitized in one form or another by 2022. And that prediction holds true even during the COVID emergency, or probably has been further accelerated in its realization. And in this context, the public sector in Europe and Portugal and globally has actually been at the center of the scene, right? It's not just been observing all of these technologies coming to the market, all of these gadgets that in some cases have turned into transformational products and services, and in other cases have become more of a nice to have. It's the above the line impact that has really changed the public sector. It's starting 20 years ago by putting services online, opening up the public sector chest from the old users of technology in one mainframe room for certain legacy application. Then using technologies to open up some collaboration, or what we used to call joined up government. And then using data in a smarter way, and finally really embracing the idea of digital government. And throughout that journey, the point has been not about the technology. There's been the increasing realization that the value is beyond the technology. And those that have only focused on the technology have faced risks or had to take further steps to improve their benefits realization. And I'm giving you just 3 quick examples here. Not all of them from public sector, like Transfer for London, that was one of the early adopters of chatbots, but the first instantiation of that chatbot, of that travel bot, deliver underwhelming results for the travelers and the citizens and the residents of London and the commuters. Or British Airways that was subject to an attack, a hack to their website, and lost the details of many of their passengers, the personal information, and was confronted with a fine because of a violation of GDPR. Again, thinking of the implementation of data protection in a broader sense, and not just by protecting a network boundary or one specific application. And finally, maybe less known in Europe, but also an interesting one, in the US, Whole Foods was a organic food chain that pushed their automation, that pushed the use of technology, relies on technology a little bit too much. They went too far in automating their shelf replenishment of their stores without taking into account the context where technology was being used, right? So a store in downtown New York in the winter is not the same as a store in the suburbs of Phoenix, Arizona in the summer. And the ability to deliver on time when it snows or when the weather is really good. So technology on its own does not deliver the final answer. It's truly about making a transformational impact from the civil servant's point of view and from the citizen's point of view, of changing the outcomes, the results, the business benefits that the government is trying to achieve. And even if business is not often used in government, but these are really business benefits in terms of efficiency, in terms of trusted services, delivery of services, trusted use of citizen data. It's about responsiveness, inclusiveness, and convenience. It's about establishing and embracing this new ethic of public service and using technology as a mean to accelerate that transition. And as I said before, we live in interesting times, right? We live in times of crisis, we live in times of emergency where governments at the national state level, at the regional level, at the city level are very much at the center of attention, are leading the way in the response and trying to bring together health and economic survival and resilience of their country. So if anything in this situation, both in the private sector and in the public sector, COVID has accelerated the use of technology, has squeezed the need to get the best out of technology investments that enterprises and public sector entities have made. And there are numerous quotes. This is from the CEO of Enel in Italy, the largest utility in the country, that said that the emergency further accelerated digitalization of projects and the overall architecture of the business processes and the business models. And that is true in government. If you look at examples from around Europe and beyond, how the Estonian government leveraged an hackathon to quickly establish a chatbot to answer to questions about COVID-19 and deployed that chatbot on 10 plus websites and freed up time of the medical professionals to deal with the real emergency cases. Or in Saudi Arabia, how a correspondence and document management system that already existed and was already partially used by the civil service. Now that a lot of those civil servants have worked from home, the take up of the solution went up. So realizing the benefits of an existing investment. US Small Business Administration using cloud and DevOps to deploy and create a new loan processing application in 5 days to help small and medium businesses react to the emergency, and so forth and so on. A lot of emergency projects that are then becoming the reality, the next normal of public service, of being able to deliver within that ethic framework. And when we surveyed our government executives across Europe recently, as part of what we call the COVID impact surveys that we run very frequently, we see that these changes are becoming permanent. As I said, it's not just about those brilliant examples of how to deal with the emergencies, it's about how to make them permanent. And from an employee and customer engagement perspective, from an operating model perspective, and from a business model perspective, the government executives that we talked to said that those changes are becoming the normality and staying after COVID. Of course, it's not an easy journey. It's not about just implementing one emergency project in a successful way. It's about transforming the end-to-end stack, piece by piece, by decoupling certain elements, by hollowing out certain applications to get them to run in the cloud and then retire the legacy. But it's only by strategically thinking through all of the layers of digitizing processes and operations, of establishing a scalable hybrid infrastructure and stitching it together with modern platform capabilities that governments can embrace the next normal. And there's a list, 6 things that all government executives are working on. It's the omni-channel citizen experience. It's leveraging data as a strategic asset to enhance policymaking and personalize service delivery and contextualize service delivery. It's trust and security. It's digital inclusion, not just different across different countries, but also different in terms of what people residing in a city versus people residing in a rural area can get access to, or different income brackets. It's about the future of work and making the new ethic the reality for the employees and the civil servants that have a lot of knowledge to bring this to bear. And last but not least, stitching it all together with an agile, intelligent platform and infrastructure. So these are the 6 keys to unlock the next normal of ethic public services. And I look forward to talking to you more about it in the next session. Thank you very much.